Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Sagittarius Sun and a Capricorn Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, these signs, though they are adjacent, they're very strongly different. They're neutral by sign as far as the compatibility, but when you look at this, Sagittarius is masculine sign, it's extroverted, and Capricorn, of course, is feminine sign, it's introverted. Now, I think these influences can modify each other, though the Capricorn ascendant, being the fact that it is the ascendant sign, it's the outer demeanor, this could dominate in terms of how others see this person. And this person with the Capricorn ascendant may come across as have very stern, serious disposition, might even be a little bit more melancholy and a little bit more, I guess you could say a little bit more placid, a little bit more stern and serious, as opposed to the typical Sagittarius Sun personality. The Capricorn ascendant can give structure and discipline to the Sagittarius big dreams, and the Sagittarius Sun can be visionary and even prophetic, and the Capricorn Ascendant can bring these visions down to earth and make a person very more pragmatic and give their grandiose ideas more practicality. Now, when you look at a natal chart, okay, the Sun sign represents our basic wants, and the rising sign or ascendant can represent the manner or method in which one attains these basic wants. So, when you look at Sagittarius Sun, the basic wants can be connected with philosophy, religion, theology, higher education, abstract thinking, being that perpetual learner or scholar, being truth-seeking, and really, it's just about, when you look at Sagittarius Sun, even in many cases, things connected with sports and athletics. Now, the thing is, having Capricorn Ascendant, these things may be done with more prudence and really maybe more careful an approach to these things, as opposed to the typical Sagittarius Sun. This person may be, because Capricorn is rising, may pursue their philosophies in a way that's very careful, and also can be maybe very orthodox and perhaps unwavering in them. Capricorn Ascendant can be single-minded, and even though it's not a fixed sign, they could also have a lot of persistence and tenacity, and that could apply to things regarding their higher education. Higher education, perhaps this person may go to school for Capricorn, like things such as business and economics, maybe computer programming, things that are connected with management. Maybe this person can work like in a maybe a place that sells sporting items, where they can manage or be that person of authority. That would be one example. And even if this person, like if they choose, like say another Capricorn rising like field could be like general, mundane, just it might be considered menial, but a lot of people might not see it like that. But a regular, regular job, like say in retail or something, but they may bring that Sagittarius exuberance and expansiveness and enthusiasm into that. So the thing about this is, this person will be much more disciplined in terms of the spending, for example, on higher education, because Capricorn, being an earth sign, can be more frugal and very prudent in regards to economical matters. Capricorn Ascendant can be very economical, and in many instances, when someone has a Capricorn Ascendant, Virgo can be on the 9th house cusp, and Virgo is known to be rather frugal and economical. So you get the idea, as far as 9th house is connected with higher education. So, and the person will be more and probably less loquacious and less enthusiastic than the typical Sagittarius Sun, because Capricorn is rising, and really this person will be more methodical in things connected with the Sagittarius basic ones. Even when it comes to learning, it might be kind of like a slow, steady progress as far as learning and wanting to assimilate ideas, being that perpetual learner. And also, what's interesting about the two signs is that Sagittarius is about, Sun and Sagittarius can be interested in making long distance journeys and a lot of traveling, while Capricorn can maybe be the antithesis of this, and Capricorn Ascendant is not so much about really traveling really that much. So you might have a little vacillation with these two energies, but I think the Capricorn Ascendant would definitely modify that need for that long distance traveling, because Capricorn generally is really not about that. But it won't. I don't think it would stop that energy completely, but it would definitely modify it in most cases, I believe. Now, anyway, it's important to look at the aspect that is made, if any, between the Sagittarius Sun and the Capricorn Ascendant, as this could indicate how these energies may work together or may not work together as much. So anyway, now let's say you have a conjunction between the Sagittarius Sun and the Capricorn Ascendant. Let's say that the Sagittarius Sun, for example, is 28 degrees and the Capricorn Ascendant is at 2 degrees. That would be a conjunction aspect, and this could be very intensifying, and these energies might really just really kind of work with each other and really be strongly amalgamated. Now, let's say you have a sextile aspect, which is a positive aspect. You can have an out-of-sign sextile aspect take place between these energies. Let's say that the Sagittarius Sun is 1 degree and the Capricorn Ascendant is 29 degrees. Well, that would form an out-of-sign sextile aspect, which could be auspicious and positive, and these energies may work much better together than otherwise indicated. You could also have a semi-sextile aspect, which is a minor aspect but is still positive. Let's say you have the Sagittarius Sun at 14 degrees and you have the Capricorn Ascendant at 14 degrees. That would form a semi-sextile aspect, which is auspicious and positive and could have a good integration, but it's modified and it's not as strong as the major aspect, which is the sextile, which I was talking about before, is what I'm saying. Now, you can also have a semi-square aspect take place. So this is an adverse aspect. Now, let's say you have the Sagittarius Sun at 14 degrees and the Capricorn Ascendant at 29 degrees. That would be an example of a semi-square aspect, which I call slightly adverse. It's an adverse aspect, but it's not a major aspect. And this could indicate maybe, even if the person is not cognizant of their astrological placements, it might indicate some feelings perhaps of being misconstrued or misunderstood by others, perhaps due to the fact because they feel what they're projecting outwardly may be strongly different than what is going on inside. Now, which may cause some feelings of exasperation and tension. Now, anyway, it's also important to look at the house where Sagittarius Sun is posited in, is even though the Capricorn Ascendant may suppress and cloak the Sun and Sagittarius energy to some degree, the Sun and Sagittarius energy may still come out at least somewhat prominently in that particular house that it is posited in. Now, let's say the Sagittarius Sun is posited in the 10th house. Well, this person might bring that buoyant and exuberant energy into matters pertaining to their career and their livelihood and their reputation, their standing in their community, their public image. And also because it's in an angular house, the energy may be a little bit more emphasized as opposed to the Sun in Sagittarius being in the 11th or 12th house and having the Capricorn Ascendant. Now, let's say that the Sun in Sagittarius is in the 11th house. Well, this could indicate the exuberance and that optimistic nature might come out in matters connected with their friends, their acquaintances, their goals, their aspirations, and maybe in humanitarian endeavors. Now, if the Sun in Sagittarius is in the 12th house, well, the energy might be weakened to some degree and dissipated to some degree because the 12th house is a cadent house, and generally the energies are not as strong in the cadent houses as they are in the other ones. So, And being in the 12th house of restriction limitation, you get the idea. And this energy might really strongly come out of Sagittarius behind closed doors and in privacy and seclusion, and even in spiritual matters if applicable. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the Sun in Sagittarius and a Capricorn Ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having a Sagittarius Sun and an Aquarius Ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.